What if everything you thought you knew about our solar system was just a blurry guess? Until very recently, we could only imagine what other worlds looked like. But today, we have real photographs, not just of Earth, but of firestorms on the Sun, volcanoes on Venus, and alien ice fields on Pluto. And what they reveal will leave you speechless. This is not science fiction. These are real images captured by machines built by us. And once you see them, you'll never look at the sky the same way again. Imagine staring into a storm larger than Earth itself, or witnessing a volcano erupt on a planet where no human has ever set foot. For most of history, the planets were just lights in the sky, distant, untouchable. But not anymore. Today we have actual images, from the blazing surface of the Sun to the icy plains of Pluto. These aren't CGI. They're not artist impressions. These are real photos captured by NASA, the European Space Agency, and a fleet of machines humanity hurled into the dark. And some of the images left even seasoned astronomers speechless. You've never seen our solar system like this, and what we found out there might change how you see everything down here. At the heart of our solar system lies a cosmic inferno, the Sun, a 4.6 billion-year-old nuclear engine that makes up 99.86% of all the mass in our solar system. If it vanished right now, every planet, including us, would spiral into cold darkness within minutes. But the Sun isn't a calm, gentle star. It's violent, alive, and constantly changing. In August 2012, NASA's Solar Dynamics Observatory captured one of the most jaw-dropping space events ever recorded. A filament of solar plasma, thousands of miles long, suddenly erupted, launching a coronal mass ejection into the void at 900 miles per second. That's fast enough to travel from New York to London in 5 seconds. These flares don't just look stunning. If aimed at Earth, they can disable satellites, cause blackouts, and disrupt communication systems across the globe. And here's something few people know. The Sun has seasons. It goes through 11-year solar cycles, switching from relatively calm to dangerously active. We're now entering solar cycle 25, and early signs suggest it could be one of the most powerful yet. Every second, the Sun releases more energy than humanity has used in all of history, and we've only just begun to understand how it works. But what happens when we get too close? The next planet brings us closer than ever before to a world scorched and scarred by this stellar beast. After the Sun, the next stop in our journey brings us dangerously close to the fire. Mercury, the smallest planet in the solar system, and one of the most violently abused. At first glance, it looks like our moon, gray, dead, lifeless. But get closer, and you'll see a planet that's been through hell. Thanks to NASA's Messenger spacecraft, which orbited Mercury from 2011 to 2015, we now have more than 200,000 high-resolution images that revealed a world punched, fractured, and scarred by billions of years of asteroid impacts. One of the most stunning? The Caloris Basin, a massive crater 960 miles across. That's nearly the width of the entire United States. Surrounding it are mountain ranges over 1.2 miles high, formed by the sheer violence of that impact. But Mercury isn't just a battered rock. Messenger also discovered evidence of water ice in permanently shadowed craters near the poles. Yes, water on a planet that reaches up to 800 degrees Fahrenheit during the day. And here's a twist that surprises most people. Mercury isn't the hottest planet in the solar system. Despite being the closest to the Sun, its lack of atmosphere means it can't trap heat, causing wild temperature swings from 800 degrees Fahrenheit in the day to minus 290 degrees Fahrenheit at night. In 2015, as Messenger ran out of fuel, NASA let it crash intentionally into the planet's surface. But just before its final descent, it transmitted one last photo, the highest resolution image of Mercury ever taken. A final moment, a final message, and a reminder that even the smallest planet has stories written in scars. But if Mercury is a survivor, the next world is a furnace, one where spacecraft are lucky to last minutes. Let's step into Venus. If Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun, Venus is the one that pays the highest price. Welcome to the most hellish place in our solar system. Venus is almost the same size as Earth. In fact, early astronomers thought it might be our twin. But beneath its thick yellow clouds lies a world so hostile, no spacecraft has survived it for long. With surface temperatures reaching 880 degrees Fahrenheit, 471 degrees Celsius, Venus is hotter than Mercury, not because it's closer to the Sun, but because of its runaway greenhouse effect. Its atmosphere is a dense, choking mix of carbon dioxide, sulfuric acid, and sulfur dioxide, pressing down with 92 times the pressure we feel on Earth. That's like standing underwater at a depth of 3,000 feet. In 1982, the Soviet Union launched Venera 13, a lander that became the first spacecraft to send back color images from the surface of Venus. It was expected to last 30 minutes. It survived 127 minutes. In that time, it captured haunting photos of a cracked, rock-strewn surface under a sky the color of rust. But Venus wasn't finished. In 1990, NASA's Magellan probe used radar mapping to pierce Venus's clouds, and what it saw was staggering. Endless lava plains, volcanoes stretching over 5 miles high, a lava channel measuring 5,550 miles, longer than the continental U.S. These images suggested that Venus may have been geologically active recently, and possibly still is. In fact, in 2023, a scientist discovered direct evidence of volcanic activity, fresh flows, and shifting terrain, possibly captured by Magellan decades ago. And now, with new missions like Veritas and Envision planned for the 2030s, Venus is back in the spotlight. Could this planet once have had oceans? Atmosphere? Could it have been Earth-like? Or is it a preview of our future, if climate conditions spiral out of control? One thing is clear. Venus isn't just Earth's evil twin. It's a mirror showing us what happens when a planet turns against itself. But now, let's leave the inferno behind and head home, because the next planet isn't just familiar, it's us. We've visited Mercury's scars, we've survived the fury of Venus, but now we're back, and for the first time we're looking at Earth not as home, but as just another planet, floating in the void, wrapped in blues and greens, and veiled in clouds. In space, Earth is shockingly fragile. Just a thin atmosphere protecting life from everything we've seen so far: radiation, fire, and ice. From 22,000 miles above, NASA's MODIS satellite captured an image that stopped scientists in their tracks. A true-color photo of Earth with such clarity you can see the shape of South America, the swirl of hurricanes, the thin haze of life-supporting air. And then there's this. On December 14, 2020, the GOES-16 satellite caught something extraordinary. A total solar eclipse, racing across the face of the Earth like a shadow cast by the gods. A moment so rare, it felt like time itself paused. But NASA isn't the only one watching. In 2011, a Russian satellite called Electro-L captured ultra-high-definition photos of Earth. The detail was so sharp, many people claimed it looked more real than NASA's own imagery. Some even said the colors revealed features we'd never seen before. There's debate, of course. NASA says the electro images are overly processed, but here's the point. Earth is being watched from above, and with every orbit, we understand it better. And sometimes Earth isn't the subject, it's the cameo. In its final days, the Messenger spacecraft, orbiting Mercury, turned its lens back toward us. It captured a photo of Earth and the Moon side by side as tiny glowing dots in the black. A reminder of just how far we've come and how small we really are. But if Earth is familiar, the next world has haunted our imaginations for centuries. A planet that might once have been like ours, and that still might be hiding the biggest secret of all. Let's step onto Mars. Mars is a paradox. Dry, frozen, and hostile, yet strangely familiar. It's the fourth planet from the Sun, and the one we've studied more than any other, because out of every world in our solar system, Mars is the most likely to have once been like Earth. In 1976, NASA's Viking 1 and 2 orbiters gave us the first close-up shots. They revealed canyons, impact craters, polar ice caps, and something more. Patterns, channels, shapes that looked carved by flowing water. Could Mars have once had oceans, rivers, rain? The answer came years later when ESA's Mars Express and NASA's Curiosity rover captured high-resolution images of ancient riverbeds, layered rocks, and even sedimentary formations. Clues that water wasn't just there briefly, it shaped the land. One of the most iconic images ever taken from Mars is a 1.8 billion pixel panorama stitched from over 1,200 photographs by Curiosity. It's so detailed, you can zoom in and see individual grains of sand. Mars may be a wasteland now, but it wasn't always. Valles Marineris, captured first by Viking and then in stunning detail by newer missions, is a canyon system over 2,500 miles long and 7 miles deep. That's longer than the US and 4 times deeper than the Grand Canyon. The red dust that coats everything isn't just soil, it's iron oxide rusted over billions of years. And that iconic red glow? It's what makes Mars visible to the naked eye in our night sky. But here's where things get truly exciting. Massive has 4 active rovers currently exploring its surface, and in 2021, Perseverance began collecting rock samples that might, just might, contain microbial fossils. If they find life, or even the remains of it, it won't just be a discovery. It will be a redefinition of everything we know about biology, Earth, and our place in the universe. But Mars is just the beginning of our solar system, because the next planet, it's the giant of giants. A storm-filled titan with secrets hidden beneath clouds we've only just begun to pierce. Next stop, Jupiter. Jupiter is not just the largest planet in the solar system. It's the most extreme. If all the other planets were placed inside Jupiter, they'd fit with room to spare. It's made almost entirely of gas, with no solid surface to stand on. But deep beneath those colorful clouds, something is stirring. In July 2017, NASA's Juno spacecraft flew just 5,600 miles above Jupiter's most famous feature, the Great Red Spot, a colossal storm that's been raging for over 350 years. And it's shrinking. Once wide enough to swallow 3 Earths, it's now just barely 1. But what's causing it to fade? We still don't know. Juno sent back jaw-dropping images, whirlpools of ammonia clouds, massive rotating bands of color, and lightning bolts 1,000 times more powerful than anything seen on Earth. But what stunned scientists even more were the poles. At the North Pole, 8 cyclones locked in a perfect octagon. At the South, 5 more arranged with uncanny symmetry. These storms didn't behave like Earth weather. They don't drift, they don't merge, they just stay, spinning, locked in place, like gears in a cosmic machine. And deep inside Jupiter, possibly a metallic hydrogen ocean, compressed by gravity so intense it squeezes atoms apart. Juno's data also hints at a fuzzy, dissolving core, suggesting Jupiter may have collided with another massive object early in its formation. Jupiter's magnetic field is 20,000 times stronger than Earth's, capable of creating radiation belts so intense they'd fry most spacecraft in hours. It's more than a planet. It's a fortress of energy, chaos, and mystery. And yet, it has dozens of moons, some of which may hide oceans beneath icy shells, potential homes for life. Jupiter isn't just a gas giant. It's a system within a system. But just beyond it lies perhaps the most beautiful object in the solar system, a planet with rings so vast and elegant they defy imagination. Let's move into the realm of Saturn. If the solar system had royalty, Saturn would wear the crown. With rings stretching over 175,000 miles, Saturn is one of the most iconic and visually striking planets ever observed. But those rings aren't solid. They're made of billions of pieces of ice and rock, some as small as grains of sand, others as large as mountains, each reflecting sunlight like cosmic glitter. In 2004, NASA's Cassini spacecraft entered orbit around Saturn, and what it revealed was breathtaking. One image shows Saturn backlit by the sun, the rings glowing like a halo, revealing subtle layers and structures invisible from Earth. And then there's the storm. At Saturn's North Pole spins a hexagon-shaped vortex, perfectly symmetrical, perfectly mysterious. Scientists still don't fully understand how this six-sided storm formed, or how it's remained stable for decades. Cassini spent 13 years exploring Saturn and its moons. It sent home thousands of images, some in natural color, some in infrared, all stunning. And in 2017, as planned, Cassini made its final dive into Saturn's atmosphere. In its last moments, it continued transmitting data until it was torn apart by pressure and heat. Its final gift to humanity, a look at Saturn not as a distant ring dot, but as a living, changing world. But Saturn was only half the story, because what comes next is unlike anything you've ever seen. A planet that spins on its side, with secrets hiding in the cold. Let's meet Uranus. Uranus doesn't just orbit the sun, it rolls around it. Unlike any other planet in our solar system, Uranus spins on its side, tilted by over 98 degrees. Scientists believe that long ago, a massive object, possibly the size of Earth, slammed into Uranus, knocked it over like a bowling pin, and freezing it in that orientation forever. The result? Its poles experience 42 years of sunlight, followed by 42 years of darkness. Voyager 2 gave us our first real look at Uranus in 1986, but it was the Keck telescope and Hubble Space Telescope that later revealed its pale blue-green glow caused by methane in its atmosphere. But there's more hidden beneath that tranquil color. In 2011, Hubble captured auroras dancing across Uranus's atmosphere, glowing arcs of charged particles like the Northern Lights, but on an alien scale. And in 2022, new models suggested that Uranus might have a layered interior with oceans of ammonia and water slush, potentially habitable environments deep below. It's also surrounded by faint, narrow rings, less dramatic than Saturn's, but still shimmering in the dark. Uranus has 27 moons, many named after characters from Shakespeare, and some of them show signs of past geological activity, suggesting that even in this frozen part of space, something is stirring. Mysterious, overlooked, tilted, and cold. Uranus is the quiet planet that may be hiding big surprises. But the final planet in our system? It's darker, windier, and home to storms that defy logic. Let's head to Neptune. Neptune is the 8th and farthest known planet from the Sun. Cold, isolated, shrouded in deep blue, But don't be fooled by the calm color. Neptune is a world of violence. It holds the record for the fastest winds in the solar system, reaching over 1,200 miles per hour. That's faster than the speed of sound. In 1989, Voyager 2 flew by Neptune and gave us our first look. Swirling storms, mysterious dark spots, and icy cloud bands drifting across the atmosphere. One storm in particular stood out: the Great Dark Spot, a massive anticyclone roughly the size of Earth, raging across Neptune's surface. Years later, Hubble would observe this spot disappear, and then another one formed. Neptune's atmosphere is a deep mix of hydrogen, helium, and methane. The methane absorbs red light, giving the planet its vivid electric blue appearance. But it's what we've seen recently that's truly remarkable. In 2020, the Very Large Telescope in Chile captured some of the clearest images of Neptune ever taken from Earth, showing bright white clouds, storms, and dynamic weather in real time. Despite being nearly 3 billion miles away, Neptune is alive with activity. And it's orbited by Triton, a moon that orbits backwards and may be a captured dwarf planet, one with cryovolcanoes that spew icy material into space. Neptune is the outer boundary of the classical solar system. Beyond it, things get colder and weirder. Because next, we reach a world that's still debated. A planet or not a planet? Let's visit Pluto. Pluto was once our 9th planet. Then it was demoted. But when NASA's New Horizons spacecraft reached it in 2015, what it revealed stunned the world. Pluto is not a frozen, dead rock. It's a world with mountains, plains, glaciers, and even a beating heart. That heart, known as Tombo Regio, is a vast plain of nitrogen ice that expands and contracts in sync with the planet's thin atmosphere. Some scientists believe it might even be hiding a liquid ocean deep beneath its surface. One side of the heart is smooth and geologically young, maybe just 10 million years old. The other? Riddled with strange ridges, icy hills, and signs of active geology. And then there's Charon, Pluto's largest moon. Half Pluto's size, it orbits in perfect synchronicity, always showing the same face. Charon's surface features massive canyons and possible cryovolcanoes. In some enhanced images, it looks like a ghost moon, cold, cracked, and full of mystery. Together, Pluto and Charon form a binary system, dancing through the darkness at the edge of the sun's reach. And here's a mind bender. Some of Pluto's features may be the result of internal heat, even at temperatures near minus 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Pluto may be small, it might be distant, but it refuses to be forgotten. And what lies beyond Pluto? That's not just the end of our solar system, it's the beginning of something far greater. Beyond Pluto, the sun is just another star, and space becomes colder, darker, and infinitely more mysterious. But humanity isn't stopping. A project called Breakthrough Starshot is already being developed, an audacious plan to launch nanoprobes propelled by lasers traveling at 134 million miles per hour. Their destination? Proxima Centauri, the closest star system to our own. If it works, we could receive images from another solar system in our lifetime. Just think about that. Real photos from another star. Maybe another Earth. Maybe something we've never imagined. From blurry lights in the sky to HD images of alien landscapes, we've come so far. But the greatest discoveries? They're still ahead. If this journey opened your eyes, you're in the right place. We have more to show you. Click the next video and keep learning about our impressive universe. Subscribe and explore the unknown with us. See you in the next one.